أهلا وسهلا وحياكم الله وكل عام وأنتم بخير. اليوم 5/5/1447 هجري والموافق يوم الاثنين، وهي مسمى باليوم الأم إن شاء الله تبارك الله. أهلا وسهلا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. To our beautiful mothers and our fathers, let it come and keep your rahmat, and all the beautiful souls of the city of this new evolution, we will call it, inshallah ta'ala, as we journey into the unknown zones of the ozone layers of that which we are trapped in our our facade. Let's call it a facade today. Facade in Arabic means something which has been spoilt beyond repairs. Okay, facade and facade is the same, echo. It's the same sound vibrations. Okay, same rhythm, right? Every sound that you every sound that you tap into is cosmologically, it is consciously, it is planted in the hemisphere of your atmosphere in your reality. Okay? Like I always maintain to most of you have no idea why you are a parent, why you were born into earth, where you are going from here, where you are coming. We have completely erased our cosmic memory. It was substituted. We forfeited it, and hence, at the end of an age, as what you are witnessing now, you are forced to follow your that which you were idolically, forged to become. Okay, unfortunately, this is the truth. I have to not give you. I don't. I always say we don't know each other. Okay, we're not meant to know each other. We're just meant to deliver a message. Each one of us. Okay, so when we acknowledge what our message is, our mission is, then we have to spell it into the universal conscious, which is now alive. It is now the lights are going on for the new generations, of course. The old generation, the previous civilization, they were substituted. Okay, people. It's time that you come to terms with the fact that you have no longer a role in the future of your next generations because you were destroyed on the hands of Allah. You were not given a choice when you were led into a an ambush in the COVID age. We know facts, we know medical, we know history. We know facts could actually withstand that invasion into your psychology, into your medical files, into your political orders, into whatever you can call it. Your generation, when you went out and the new generation came in, they saw how the God substituted you all. Okay, it's something that is bitter. It's bitter for you as a civilization, but you were the ones that claimed war against God. Okay, فَأْذَنُوا بِحَرْبٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. 99% of the things that you own today is all riba based, people. It's all coming from the riba institutions. Nothing of yours is halal. It was made halal through religious forums, but it has no significance with regards to the Quran, because the Quran that you had believed the interpretation was fake. Okay, it was a misinterpretation. The God that you thought is your God became your devil at the end of the day. Okay, it's all in your books, guys. Most of you don't read your books. You are following blindly, and therefore you are in the condition of being the stock of the exchange of your currency. Okay, you exchanged your currency and you became foreign stock. Okay, to your into your indigenous cultural sovereign rights and sovereign privileges and sovereign currencies. Okay, what is bad for you guys, what goes bad down your books on the history, is that your children will never ever believe remember you. Like, you cannot remember your grandfathers. Now that is what will happen to you. Your next generations will never remember you. It is how I'm going to explain to you tonight. It's how you are psychologically modeled in your ways of thinking, your old mindsets, the way you believe religion had shortchanged you. Okay, none of you had met a prophet. Only a few people had met a prophet. Now you must ask yourself the questions. You have educated your children, and now they're going to start asking, how come Allah didn't give me a prophet? How come Allah only gave certain people prophets and He did not give other people prophets? Now, these are legitimate questions, and Allah wants these questions to come out, because it's time that we must face the we have to face the elephant that is in the room here, guys. Okay, it's time that we have to consider the fact that our children are going to be naturally forced to believe and understand the way that we thought of life, the way we saw life, the way we saw reality. the way we saw money, the way we saw materialism, the way we saw governments, the way we saw prophets, the way we saw texts. People, that was in the night, that was in the darkness. That is how we were misled to think that that was the actual Allah who we had been led to believe is controlled by a Zionist nation. Okay? Zionism is all in your minds. It's all been revealed in the Quran. وَزَيَّنَّا لَهُمْ مَصَابِ يعني وَزَيَّنَّا سَمَاءَ الدُّنْيَا بِمَصَابِيحَ وَجَعَلْنَاهَا رُجُومًا لِلشَّيَاطِينِ. Okay? It's only the way you have been activated and how you have been modeled to think, people. You have, somebody has made you think for yourself. Okay, you haven't been thinking for yourself. You've been thinking as to how your adversary had taught you to see the world through their lenses. Okay, and therefore you only understand God through their definitions and through their operational systems and their psychology and their operational system. Okay, we call it manzuma. Now you will be stuck there for as long as you're not going to be questioning your Allah. You must question Allah. Allah, your Allah that you have, most of you are a dead God because you must first die before you meet Him. Now, we as soul tribes, we speak to Allah 24/6, people. It is how Allah has created us. Allah created some people to never believe that there's an akhirah. They will always believe that there's only one time they will be alive. Many of our mothers are like that. They will tell you, Yani, you only live once. Okay. So we as children coming in and hearing our mothers telling us that, we know that they are already misled. They have lost their way. They haven't come here for the purpose of guiding their children. They have come here as mirrors for their children. Okay. Now, when you are currently where you are in the conscious sea of where we are present now as a soul tribe, look, we can understand what is unfolding in the conscious realms. Okay, where most of you are residing in the unconscious realms, which means you don't understand your books. You've never ever read your books. You have no idea what you're doing here. You're just following blindly and paying for the sins and your salvation. That is the idolatry lifestyles that you chose for yourselves. And you coming from the last civilization, the last generation, who were coming down. That civilization was busy decaying. So you got your understanding of religion, of who your identity, of who you are, from another generation that was the last generation that pushed you further into the dark. Okay, understand what I'm telling you, people. You are too attached to the time and the date and the palm trees that consolidated you into another timeline of consciousness. Okay, you have to now, at this moment in your lives, extract yourselves out of this, because what has happened in this evolution of your conscious realm, okay, where little of you remain, because I mean, like, you choose to be dead than alive. Okay, so when you choose to have a dead God, you will just say that his name is Allah, his name is Jesus, but you will be controlling and manipulating him all the time. Okay, you'll not allow him to rule the goose. You will kill the goose, and then you will say how it must be divided. Okay, so in that advent where you are residing in conscious, that is what Allah calls the age of the mushrikeen. Okay, that is where you substitute your sovereign, you sell your soul for a material value. Now your children has already acknowledged that, and hence that they had sent the SOSs out to say that we need to substitute this last generation, because they are going to take the next generations into further misery. Okay, so as a matter of understanding where you are as a civilization, you are now in the process of becoming redundant in the history and in the future of your children and your next generations. People, truth is something, when you live in Jahannam, you can do as you will. But when you live in the conscious realm where you claim you believe in your God and you believe in Jannah and you believe in all this funny stuff, you are actually just lying to yourselves. Most of you are living in that lie. Okay, your beliefs are lies and your gods are lies. Okay, as long as you can substitute your God with money, you are secured. Okay, so obviously your children has discovered this loophole inside of you guys. Okay, and then they had to make the formal complaint to identify that they are not from you. يعني إنه ليس من أهلك إنه عمل غير صالح. Okay, they had to send that flare out so that they be not considered when it comes to the to the extraction that they are part of the past age by doing what you know Yunus. What was Yunus's crime that he committed in the sea of life? Okay, he was drowning to the extent that he knew the truth, but he could not speak the truth. Okay, that's why they would speak about Yunus het gesit, Yunus het gesit in the keel. The keel was he could not say the truth. What he believed was never what he was able to say because he lied. He belied himself. Now, most of our parents are in this boat in the last. That's why they were destroyed in the eyes of the children. As parents, you can still not come to realization that you will not exist in the Jannah, people. You will not exist in your grandchildren's Jannah because they will be activating the DNA, the mithaqun ghalid. Everybody, when you come into earth, okay, it is it's enshrined in your DNA, your entire life, your entire program. Never mind how many times you have to come back and serve time in prison, in Jahannam here. It's all, you cannot avoid it, people. You are being given a false identity by your adversary, okay? That has made capitalism halal and it made communism haram, okay? You have to come back to your understanding what was communal, what it is not to be in a class, okay? You've gone through that spiral and now you are caught in that web, okay? And it's been consolidated now that you went to war in Israel, okay? So at this juncture of civilizations, okay, as to the revealed scriptures, which is the Quran, in which the Injil and the Torah and the Zabur and the Suhuf Ibrahim and the Suhuf Musa is inside of it, okay? This version of reality and of psychology is where you have never studied as a past civilization, okay? You've never believed it was possible because you controlled the possibilities and the impossibilities of a God and of a truth, okay? Since Corona, since the impossible became possible, your children filed for illegitimate relationship between parent and child. Okay, they did not want to be associated physiologically, neurologically, and cosmologically to the past age. It's not possible, Sheikh. We have to say the truth, and you have to divide it, and you have to fanfalak al bahr. Okay, the sea that you are talking about of Moses that he crosses, it is all in your mind. It is that division that comes in the book where he makes the fussilat, he makes the yomul fasl, okay? He makes the division where the heavens cosmologically in your sciences, in your neural links now, she detaches you of that false light, okay? And that past history is erased in your cellular lights, people, okay? You only live inside. You have been caught where you are currently, most of you are residing, is the unconscious realm, which Allah terms Jahannam, where you are caught up in the fire. You cannot bring that fire down. You cannot extinguish that fire that is continuously protesting and projecting fear and scarcity and comparisons and this and that. That's how we know you as a past civilization. You became the jinn of a civilization. Your lights were switched off. That's the jinn, people. People's lights that were switched off. Okay, who lost their path into this new age where Allah now will give the children a new script, which is in the Quran. Quran is not what you guys have been taught by your adversary and by your invaders. Your new generations will be given the philosophy. يعني لو كان البحر مدادا لكلمات ربي لنفد البحر قبل أن تنفد كلمات ربي ولو جئنا بمثله مددا. Okay? They will not understand what you had idolically made another nation superior to them. Okay, made them believe that conscious was not relevant, but to remain subservient in an unconscious condition was effective and had been approved by the God of the worlds. That's unacceptable, people. That's apartheid. Okay, you taught them the most effective form of accepting shirk in an apartheid belief system where your governments were all the time playing the South African background against the Israel background. That was the mirror effect inside of you guys. The problem is not outside. As I always say, the problem is you. Your enemy is you. You're the biggest enemy in your life. You're the greatest shaitan of yourself. Okay? But what your religions has taught you was to export it to a middle, which they call the East, and they put the B in front of it and became the beast. Okay? And therefore, most of you are entrapped there because your God had shortchanged you, right? Not knowing that you had to open the escape door in your mind so that you come into that ghurfa, into that chamber inside of your minds. You clear all that false beliefs, all that false ideas, all that stagnant, sticky, messy data that no longer serves a purpose. And then you have to cleanse. فَاغْسِلُوا وُجُوهَكُمْ وَأَيْدِيَكُمْ إِلَى الْمَرَافِقِ. Okay? And get yourself away from that apparatus where you thought you needed that system, and you have to now wait for the approval of the heavens to open up your next sama. Okay? وَأَنزَلْنَا مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً. Okay? Now you're going to get an upgrade in the format of how you used to think, how you used to believe, who you thought was God, where you thought was God. Now you're going to get your authentic new self. That Allah will activate in your psychology. Okay, this is how it works, people. There's no other way. You're not going to get it from somebody else there. All those religious fraternities has been destroyed. They are only living off the guilt and the sin of the jinn tribes now. You'll have to pay them. Okay, that is civilizations that were destroyed and they came back. وَحَرَامٌ عَلَى قَرْيَةٍ أَهْلَكْنَاهَا أَنَّهُمْ لَا يَرْجِعُونَ. Okay, your scholars who claim to be scholars on all fronts, it's just a copy paste. That's why we had to send Harun to be the most intelligent agency, so that the principle can be reinstated. Okay, it's time for you to wake up, people. This thing is running into a bad intersection. Okay, it is a serious. You don't know how serious this thing is. That's why it's a fasting that you're only gonna get upgrades through your cellular lights, people. You're not gonna know what's gonna happen inside your well-being if you don't have internal well-being and quietness and silence. You need silence. This thing, if you want to hear the message of the messenger, you're only gonna find it in silence. Not what you were taught in the past civilization. That is no longer a valid act unless you want to live where the lights are off. But all the answers is placed inside of you. Everything is now going to mirror whatever you had not cleaned inside your house. You're going to see that plasma now coming out in this next few moments, where you're going to see everything outside that you have a problem with is the problem that exists inside of you guys. Because you didn't clean the kitchen, and therefore the najis, the shit is going to hit the fan now in the yani hamak case. Okay? Because those two things work together. This is the kitchen, guys. This is the kitchen. And this is the heart. Okay? This just does the filtering, because you must know what to put inside. Don't just eat anything. Now, we as soul tribes, guys, we don't eat outside. And we mostly try, we don't even let our wives cook for us. We cook ourselves. We eat from our own hands. This is the restricted time. This is what antum akifuna fil masajid. Okay? We as soul tribes, we know how to navigate ourselves consciously from the dark into the light, because this is the fajr, hatta matla' al-fajr. We are in that period. But this is cosmologically, it is not what the Middle Easterners had misinterpreted the word from the book. Okay? The book is the the book, the kitab, is the universe, people. You have a chapter in the universe, and you have a notebook that is placed there, and you have to activate it, because that is where you are following your scrolls. You are just being misled into believing and doing things that you were not supposed to do. Okay? You were dubbed, and we were cloned. Okay? That's why they send the drones down onto you guys and to us. Okay? So you have to escape that prison. They have to escape that level of consciousness, that psychology. You have to free. In fact, COVID had come to free us from that. That was why COVID came. It came from Allah. It did not come from a mistake. It did not come from Wuhan. It came exactly on its time for you to escape the past sort of matrix, the past illusion that you lived in. But because of fear, because of your bodies that has betrayed the purpose that Allah has created it, you are still now waiting for punishment. Okay, your punishment, your sentence, everything was already served unto you. What was that? Your children will curse you forever. That's the curse. يعني والخامسة أن لعنة الله عليك إن كنت من الكاذبين. Okay, it's not jokes, this, guys. You didn't create children. You never even knew why you brought in your children. You المال والبنون زينة الحياة الدنيا. إنما أولادكم إنما أموالكم وأولادكم فتنة. It was just a oorverblindende. Ze gaan nooit vir jou kinders sien nie. Ze gaan nooit vir jou male sien in a physical dimension, guys. They were never supposed to be in this realm. This was just where they volunteer to offer a certain service in a conscious mode. Okay, you just see them, but it's a conscious mode. It doesn't last. That's why they have to live in your presence. Okay, just so that you can grow up. Okay, so that you can bring health to your mind and to your into your conscious levels. Okay, you fall in love with something which is plasticized, okay, which is fictionally hallucinated, and then you build beliefs on it, knowing that everything was created through riba. Nobody paid God for anything, people. You take the gold out of the earth, but you didn't pay it to God. Okay, it's God's earth, it's Allah's. Okay, but we claimed it's someone else's, and that's why we had to pay that, people. So your mindsets and further where you came on riba and how you made riba halal and how you made riba purify the riba through zakat. It's how your own next generation is cursing you, people. You made something which was haram halal. They can't give you support by where Allah is, guys. Okay, it's clear in the Quran. They can't give you that support. They have to say the truth. They have to send the curses onto that civilization. All right. And this is in truth, people. This is if you have a healthy mind, if you have a healthy, strong heart. Okay. And if Allah gives you the keys to extending your understanding of your existence. Okay. This is that is what you understand as Jannah. For most of you, if you don't get an extension, khalas, this will be your only life and you will serve yani, your next of your lives in the dooms of hell. Hell means the illusion that you cannot get yourself out now. You cannot see what I'm speaking. That's hell. Okay, that's where you have been moduled, and you agreed with God to say, listen here, man, I can withstand all these things that will come at me, and at the first curveball on the field, to settle for your for assist. Okay, it was for you to keep your eyes on the ball. Now we are soul tribes. We are customized for these kind of ordeals and these kind of environments, and that is how we bring our own tribal children into the next advent in a clear and prosperous and environment. That's our work. We don't come to save people. God's got to do His work. We come here to yani, lead through the under the leadership of our Imam and our Khalifas and our Mimas, they take us over into the next age. Okay, that's protocol, people. You must understand you have to have a soul tribe. If you found a capitalist tribe, if you found a tribe in Iran or in Saudi Arabia, Shia and Sunnism is the same concept, people. It's just two opposites. It's part of the genocide concepts that these people export. Okay? If you didn't find it in your own land, and it was not meant for you, then you are foreign to the land where you are currently residing, and therefore you become the stock of the Trump administration. Okay, they use this exchange of the ages to capture those who had not awoken, those who were not matured in time. Those people will now become the stock of the enterprises. Okay, because it's now digital. Microsoft has its own flag, so you become that subjects of that new banking and currency world that is now digitalized. Okay, that is the hype of kufr and shirk, guys. There is no God. You can call him Allah, you can call him, that is, you are a bona fide mushrik. Okay, there is no Jannah from that moment on. Okay, let your children tell you the truth because they have by themselves swum that seas before you had actually thought of what was coming your way. Okay, there is no blood relationship when it comes to consciousness. Okay, when it comes to the soul tribe, it's the people who you came from, yani the arwahun mujannada, yani that was the authentic people that your ruh was cut from. Those are the people that you will now recalibrate with in this new age. It's a beautiful age. It's a beautiful age because it's not going to be religion, people. There's not going to be the fear of a God because you're going to be with Allah 24/6. Okay? Your minds, your way of thinking is going to be synchronized on the natural order of the universal laws and the sunnah of the heavens. Okay? Most of you did not believe in Jannah. Your children has already known that because you couldn't identify to them where the Jannah was. You couldn't give them the laws that governs them in Jannah. They know, guys. Most of us were mushrikeen. They know it because we couldn't give them a description of or even an address of where to meet up with us when we leave. Okay, it's difficult. Die pil wat jy moet sluk, it's baie difficult. But if you are willing to, if you are, most of you have given up already. Most of you have given up this fight. Okay, you've settled for hell. But those of us that has migrated, there's good energies. There's good info coming. Stay in touch with the data centers. It's inside of you guys. By now, the soul tribes, the mothers, for them it's easy to access this because they've been on this wave, yani, for some time now since COVID. Okay, they bringing in this thing. This weekend I saw it myself. I saw our great mother of the city going and open up the tomb of Sayyidina Yusuf. Yani, okay, it's all symbolic, people. Okay, nothing has ever been external. There was never, ever, ever, ever prophets. It was always stages of your evolution that you have to unlock. Okay, the history was a cast. It was a holocaust. Okay, now you're going into a hologram now. Okay, you're gonna see now in December. You're gonna see funny things coming out of the air. Okay, because of your low density and how weak you have come to connect with the main source, with the master source. Okay, with the main database. Okay, the main kitab. Okay, to open up your scroll. If this doesn't bother you, it's because you have already determined that you will not good for the next age, okay, and you will not have the companionship of the angels of your children in your lives in the future and forever. Okay, it's not how the heavens don't, the universe don't need your actions. It needs watches your frequency. People, you need to be pure and you need to be, yani, you need to be selfless in this process of life. You've got to be at service of humanity in order to win, to let the wind take you into the unknown zone, because that is what fans you into bringing that confidence and that self love. Okay, it's all what you've done in your past life that is now fanning you into assessing your level in this new conscious world. Okay, if you served selflessly, you are standing to take big jackpots. Okay, okay, abundance is not here. God knows as jy jouself gaan 'n kop aan sit of vir God 'n kop aan gaan sit, gaan sy niks kry uit die deal uit. Okay? There's a Father Christmas wat gaan kom. Okay? There's a Father Christmas. That's where the concept comes out of. But only those who had made the sacrifices, only those who spoke the truth, only those who understand and could reclaim their identity before they came into the physical realm, before they became human, they were already conscious. Okay? Now we're looking for those people because those are the original, authentic people of the realm that is now currently coming in. No need for certificates, no need for money. We need purity of lineage and DNA so that you can vibrate as to what your natural order is and not be distracted by the mirrors. Because all the things that you've ever been stuck on now, the money magic, the blood magic, the sex magic, it's all going to be reflecting inside of your DNA, people. You are not understanding what Allah means with adabun alim. When you be punished, it's because you hold yourself all the time responsible. Why did I do this to my child? Why did I do this to my husband? Why did I do this to myself? Why did I do this? Why did I believe this? Why? It's all reflections inside of you because the veils are now lifted, you see. And you did not get salvation in time to find your new version. That's why you took a false digital identity because you have no house to go into. Nobody's accepting you. You must go to an artificial world. That's the forecast that you're going in now. And that's why the sun is going on in the way it's going on. Okay? It's real, people. If you are conscious, it is dead where you are and dark when you're not conscious. When you're dead, people. إِنَّكَ مَيِّتٌ وَإِنَّهُمْ مَيِّتُونَ. It's only one book that has the truth, and that is what you are holding, the Quran. But it has cursed you because you did not make salah. You made idolic worshipping. You did never understand the word. You never wanted to bring the word back to life. The word was the Kalimatullah. That was the Ruhullah. That was the Isa bin Maryam. The word has spirit, people. The spirit has meaning. The meaning projects and it broadcasts things in the orbit that you're supposed to have been in now. But because you're not awoken in it, it curses you in your mind. It's real. These things are real. And Allah Ta'ala never ever forfeited his promise. He always upheld it. We went and sold our souls. We went and sold our daughters, our mothers, our sisters' souls. And now we are going to see what the consequences of it is. Truth is truth, guys. Stop rain in al die goedetjies. Just say the truth for now. It's only about you. It's not about me. I don't know you. You don't know me. This is Yawm al-Qiyam. You've never told your children what's the meaning of Yawm al-Qiyamah because you never believed in Qiyamah. That's why you couldn't tell them because Allah didn't tell you what it was. It's shameful what you're going through because of not reading your books. How do you tell your children believe in a book but you don't know it? That's hypocrisy. Don't blame die ulamachis en ulapachis en ulavossies en ministers en hulle het niks te doen nie. Hulle soek maar net 'n vinnige bakkie, so guys. Okay. They are also making a legitimate life by trying to be gods of guardians, okay? But that's not going to work in this age because each one is his own religious leader. Each one is his own. Each house supposed to have his own Khalifa and Imam. Now, during COVID, you guys could understand, your wives could see, your children could see, wie as die Imam in die huis? Okay. Wie kan werk gemaak het en wie moet gaan vra dit vir help? Weet ek het. Okay. Die hele ding was al klaar geweest. Daar is nou die adhan wat afgeloos. Enjoy the evening, guys. You have a beautiful buka and see you on next week on Thursday, inshallah. Barakallahu feek. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
يا مصطفى كل شيء لله يا نورا من نور الله يا مصطفى كل